thing on. I want to start by thanking Fern for being here. He is the owner of the Ferns. Glad that he can make some time from home to do this interview online, of course. We're all being safe. Thank you, Fern. So how does it feel to be 2-3?
You don't feel it at first.
Has the feeling hit you yet? How does it feel to win a big game like this against a really good team?
I don't feel anything yet.
You mentioned that you studied some film on your opponent this week. Why hasn't that worked for you in the past?
Well, it's the first time I've ever tried it.
Even though this is a big day for you, aren't you just a little jealous of your more handsome brother Jeremiah for winning 4 championships at this point in his career, and you haven't even made a playoff championship game?
No, I mean just a little bit.
Your team is called Fern's team. Have you considered any other names?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
But if you had to change it, what would it be?
Fernando Gonzalez.
What brings out the best in your team? Is it your heart? Is it your soul?
My tongue is.
Would you say that the times that you realized that listening to your brother, specifically Jeremiah, has helped you or has hurt you?
It helps. Do you have mutual friends?
Well, that'll do it, Fern. I appreciate it, and thank you for speaking with us. Really appreciate you taking your time to do this.
I'm just looking at it.
Welcome everybody to Haterz Gon 2 Fantasy Football Report. I am your host, Jojo Stanopoulos, and let's get right down to it. Let's get right into the headlines for Week 5. As you all know, Dak Prescott went down to injury this week in a gruesome ankle leg injury. It was very disturbing. They only showed 4 replays of it this time because it was that disturbing. Obviously, this affects all of us in our hearts, but more so than that, Dak to the future and Travis and his team is just lost now without their leader. He's dropped another game. He's dropped out of first place. Our hearts are with Dak. Not so much Travis, but with Dak. Let's give it up to Jeremiah and the Austin Thunderballs for winning their first game of the season. It was a long time coming. It was a shame that it took this long, but this is the beginning of a great ride, a great stride for the team leader. I expect great things this season. So I don't think he's going to lose another game this season at this point. When you look at the league as a whole, it's a shame to see 3 great players like Fern, Jeremiah, and Jimmy. Typically 2 of those 3 are high-rolling teams, but right now they sit at 7, 8, and 9. The 3 worst spots in the league next to Mendes, of course. So that's a shame. Hopefully the season picks up for all of them. I know Fern is on the rise. Jeremiah just got his first win. Jimmy's kind of just there. In a weird twist this week, all of the bottom 5 teams, with the exception of Minda and Sten, won their games, which shakes up the entire ranking system. Even Minda still has a shot because of this little quirk, so she should be very thankful for all the other teams that won. Speaking of Minda, she remains the only winless team. As you can all tell, the scheduling has just been all over the place this season. It started pretty simple. Then the Tennessee Titans got a COVID outbreak, and now it's just all over the place. Games are being played on Tuesday. We're almost at that point where we're having an NFL game every day of the week. My dream, my wife's nightmare. Now a word from our sponsor, Party Train USA. Let's go ahead and review the games for Week 6. Sten's number 1 cooking with COVID versus number 9 Jeremiah's Austin Thunderballs. Generally this match would be a hard-hitting matchup. Sten has, for some reason, over the years, been able to pull upsets and victories over Jeremiah, which not a lot of teams can do other than this season, apparently. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, mostly because of the fact that Dalvin Cook will be theoretically out on this one. It's not 100%, but everybody but Dalvin Cook thinks he's going to be out. Bigger twist, Jeremiah went ahead and picked up the backup, so wouldn't it be ironic? Don't you think? Number 2, Travis is Dackless to the future versus number 7, Jimmy's the Benjamins. I don't know who's going to be quarterbacking for Travis's team this weekend, but it is interesting to see. Jimmy on the other hand, has just been able to pull wins out of his ass. And I think at some point it's going to catch up to him, his ass. So both of these teams are in desperate need to win here to stave off what's going to be the eventual season collapse for either one of them. I think Travis is going to be able to patch this up more than Jimmy, but what do I know? I'm just some guy. In America's Game of the Week, number 3, Josh's super team is going to be against number 4, Benjamin's Silly Chargers. Josh's team is a team that's on the rise right now. He didn't have a great start to his season, but since he's defeated Jeremiah, he's just been shooting for the stars, and I commend him for that. That's great. I think that he's got a real shot to make the playoffs again this season, the way he's been playing in the middle of this season. Benjamin, on the other hand, as I mentioned earlier, was a very hyped up team early on, racking up wins, and now we're starting to see the real Benjamins, and they're not good. They're not good at all. I think that this week is also going to be killer on him for bye weeks on his star players. So I think Josh is going to walk out of this one with an easy win. Number 5, Gators Gummy Backs versus number 6, Don's Gonna Own. I will say there are a lot of 3-2 teams right now. I believe 7 at this point. And this is a situation where these are 2 top 3-2 teams that I respect. Gator obviously has been in the championship game quite a few times in the past few years. Don has been missing in championship games since he won it a couple years back. So this is his season of redemption. Just like Aaron Rodgers, I feel like Don is on the same path. Gator just wants that glory. He just wants the victory. He wants to lap it up and just be in the limelight. And this game is going to go a long way as far as tiebreakers, as far as seeding. I think that both of these guys will be in the playoffs. It's just going to depend on how they finish. And America's game to avoid, number 8, Fern's team versus number 10, Minda's notable team. So Fern has got 2 wins. One more and he ties his best season in years. So goals? With that said, Patrick Mahomes probably on his own will be able to beat Minda's team, but that's not the way it's going to work out this week. Minda will get to play a lot of her players, even though they're not very good. Fern will play a lot of the wrong players. A lot of mistakes are going to be made in this game by both teams, so it's really going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. That's going to do it for this week's Haters Gonna Hate 2 report. Good luck to all the teams except Sten this week. I hope everybody gets a chance to vote. I know I just did, so get out there and do your part, and I'll see you on the field. Oh, baby.